Don't.
Okay, we are live right now. I don't know what.
Now we're live. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I pressed live, so it is what it is. But hey, anyway, good morning to everybody out there in Steeler country, wherever you're at, wherever you're a Steelers fan. Hopefully, you're having a good Sunday morning. Hopefully, you guys are liking some of the moves the Steelers make. I know some people are loving it. I am actually loving it. What grade do you give Omar Khan, Mike McCarthy, and the rest of the coaching staff for their first free agency together?
Well, before I give you that, I'm going to pick a bone. Why the fuck did I make that video with the new song if you didn't play the son of a bitch?
Well, here's the thing. I tried to upload it this morning, and it said that it needed to be converted into an MP4. So I got to convert it to an MP4. Yes.
I thought it was an MP4.
Nope. When I went to go do it and put it in there, since StreamYard doesn't allow, I have it saved. StreamYard doesn't allow you to put it in there unless it's an MP4. So you got to put it in MP4. So we'll have that up and ready to go for next show. But Dees, how's your Sunday morning going so far, and how are you liking the moves with the Steelers have made?
Sunday morning's going all right, actually. Still tired, and I don't know why, because I haven't done anything all weekend. But as far as this free agency, A fucking plus. I hate to throw on the rose-colored glasses here, but Omar knocked it out of the fucking park, as far as I'm concerned. Looking at this roster, this is a contending roster as it sits right now. There's still things that can be done. Now, granted, we didn't get a quarterback yet, but that's because we already know who the quarterback is, and it's going to be Aaron. But there wasn't really a quarterback market, in my opinion. Go ahead.
Do you think Michael Pittman Jr. dropped a hint when he was on his press conference about how he's in constant contact with AR?
Yeah, he's coming. Like Mark Caboli's been saying it he keeps posting the same little video, the Cat Williams going, they know I'm coming, I know I'm coming, and they know I'm going to do the best job that I can do. Like, they know. Like, that's the thing that irritates me about this whole situation, and I know it's just who he is, and maybe the Steelers have something to do with this too, but it's just like last year. Everybody got on this, he's holding them hostage, he's making them wait, but he's not. Like Tomlin even said last year in the or towards the end of the year on the Ryan Clark podcast that he knew the whole time. He knew before the fucking draft. But they just continued on, and everybody, that already didn't like Aaron didn't like him even more because they thought that he was holding the show up, and he never was. And I think that the same situation is going on right now. I think that they told Aaron, look, we want you back. Let us cook. Let us do all this other shit, and then we fit your contract under all of this stuff. And I think maybe there was also an inkling of let's just see what else is out there before we sit down with you. But I think at the end of the day, both sides kind of know what they're going to do, or at least how they're going to do it. I think they've known what they were going to do for a while now. At this point, there's almost zero doubt in my mind that Aaron is coming back. Yeah. And with the moves that they have made and the positions that they have addressed, it does one of two things, and one of them's really good and one of them might be really bad. And the one thing that it does that I think is really good is that when you go through the roster prior to free agency and you looked at all of the holes, and
they had so many D's. They had so many.
I disagree. There's some, without question, some. But this isn't a team that was ready to fucking tear it all down to the foundation. There are holes here and there, but they're holes that can be plugged with a player here, one player there. And I think they've done a great job of that. Now, receiver, we still need one. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Love the Pittman pickup. That's I don't know. I mean, maybe because I live where I live, when I don't get Bears games, I get a lot of Colts games. And Michael Pittman Jr. is a dog. He's everything we've ever wanted in a 1B. Like he's gonna be that dude.
Well, let's just hope he takes the curse off number 11, because the last 4 people that wore that number sucked.
So well, hey, the first time that that the first year that Chase wore it, he was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I'll take one of those years.
Yeah.
But yeah, the rest of them, not so much. But what it does is, you got your wide receiver too. You got a corner who you weren't clearly up to par on who Jamel Dean is. He's a fucking stud. He was awesome last year, pretty good the year before. Was the top rated free agent corner in the market, was the number 3 PFF graded corner in all of football, hasn't given up a touchdown in 2 years. Or I'm sorry, has only given up 1 touchdown in the last 2 years. And you're pairing him with Joey Porter, who hasn't given up a touchdown in 2 years. Big, physical, can tackle. Like, he's everything we wanted Darius Slay to be last year, but younger. Like he's gonna be good.
He's 3 years younger than Darius Slay. And
Yeah.
Dean, you know what? Going back after what you told me about Dean, I went and watched some highlight on him. He's a stud.
Yeah.
And that's a perfect pairing for Porter out there too, with how they play with the Patrick Graham defense.
He's not flashy. He's not going to make a lot of picks, but he's going to break up passes. He's going to be right there in coverage, and he's going to make tackles at the spot. Like, he don't give up yak. Like, perfect for the kind of defense that we're used to. And I'm excited what Patrick Graham can do.
Yeah, let's just hope we don't run the same defense that we
or not. Forget that. That regime is gone. Every fucking one of them gone. I'm not even concerned about that. So now you get Savage, who is a solid safety backup. Obviously, we'll plug him around like we do other people. Then they go out and they get the defensive lineman from the Titans, Sebastian Joseph Day. Again, he's a depth guy. He can come in. He can rotate in just about any position on that line. Solid. We got a punter. Not sure what we're going to do there because, as far as I know, Corliss Waitman was only a restricted free agent. Maybe they are going to let him go. And then you get Rico Dowdle, who we'll get into that in a second. But anyway, to my original point, what it does.
Deez, not to cut you off, but Waitman just signed last night with the 49ers.
Oh, did he? Okay, good.
Yes.
Yeah, he was good, but Cam Johnson barely lost the job to him last year. And I think it was one of those deals where Waitman was so good last year that they figured that we'll let him go because he can get paid and we can just go get Cam Johnson because we know he's still one of the better punters in the league. But anyway, so you take all these guys that we picked up and you figure them into the roster. What it does now is it opens up the draft to anybody. Literally, like all of the positions that you looked at and you said, that's got to be our number 1 pick, depending on who you asked. Some people were like, it's got to be defensive line, got to be corner, got to be receiver. Now it doesn't. It's wide open. We can literally take like a BPA type situation. Now, the bad part of the thing that I don't like or we may not like, and Mike Florio even alluded to this, is that I hope they are not signing all these guys knowing full well that now they can go and get a quarterback. And that quarterback has to be in the first round anyway, Ty Simpson.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about that.
I'm not crazy about that neither. And I'm glad that you brought that point up because if it's not Aaron, I know we've exasperated it here on the show and we've talked.
No. Aaron's going to be the quarterback even if they get Ty Simpson.
No. I know that. I know that.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is if the possibility of Aaron's not coming back, if the 10% possibility of him not coming back, give the keys now to Will Howard and let him go. He has 2 good wide receivers. Go get him another tight end because we lost Connor Haywood. He went to the Raiders, just signed his deal, and he's actually wearing Bo Jackson's number 34. So kudos to him and his dad's old number. His dad wore 34 with the Saints, and I forget who else he played with, but
Atlanta.
Yeah. Thank you for that. So just if it's not Aaron, please don't draft a quarterback. Don't get Ty Simpson. Alabama quarterbacks are not good. I know they say that McCarthy's the quarterback whisperer or whatever. If you're that good and do it with Will Howard. Let's roll with Will Howard. You got two good wide receivers. Bring Mason back as your backup because Mason, again, everybody talks high about him. Even this coaching staff is talking high about him. He got the playbook. Him and Will Howard have been sitting down and talking the verbiage, the language inside the playbook. And I'm ready to roll with that as the quarterback if we don't get Rodgers. But I'm okay. I'm fantastic with Rodgers coming back, being the starting quarterback for 2026. Give Will one more year. If that's the case, then you might have to move on from Mason, or you tell Mason, hey, we need you here to be the third string quarterback. And there's going to be games where you're not going to suit up.
Here's the deal, though. I think if Aaron comes back, it's or when Aaron comes back, they can still grab Ty Simpson and Mason's gone. I think that they're going to go with, they're going to groom Will to be a backup and groom, Ty to take over when Aaron leaves, unless Will absolutely blows them out of the water. But the one thing that I keep hearing, look, I like everything about Will Howard when I've seen him talking and what the people say, but there's a reason that they are looking other places. That's what all these Ohio State fans can't seem to fucking grasp. Like, yes, he was fine at Ohio State. He beat the shit out of teams like Purdue and Indiana before they were good. But the fact that they are even sniffing around the quarterback market might tell you what some of you Ohio State fans, Steeler fans don't want to know. And that's that Will's just not the guy. And I hope he is, because I like his skill set. Like, don't get me wrong. I fucking hate Alabama. I've never, all I got to do is look at the list of quarterbacks from Alabama that have been successful in the NFL, and it's a really fucking short one. It's pretty much zero since Joe Namath. And I don't really, Tua, I ain't buying it. But on the same side, same thing can be said for Ohio State. CJ Stroud is the best Ohio State quarterback that we've seen in a long time, and he's been inconsistent. They are system guys. They are guys that play on teams that have nothing but 5-star guys around them every single day, and they're playing mostly against 3-star guys every week.
Okay, so you bring that up. Is DK Metcalf a 5-star wide receiver?
That's that. Depends on the day, but
is Michael Pittman Jr. a 5-star wide receiver?
Yes.
Is if he's used properly, Pat Fryermuth a 5-star tight end if used properly?
Okay, yeah, but I know right where you're going with this.
Okay,
and let me squash the fuck out of that right now.
Okay.
On Sundays, they're not playing Purdue.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
You're absolutely right, but I'm saying and people have brought exactly up what you said, Dees, about how he's had studs at every position. The offensive line, 2 running backs went first round, wide receivers went first round. You're absolutely right, but they do see something in him in the organization to keep bringing his name up. I don't know if it's a smokescreen by McCarthy.
That's my point. Like, what are they gonna say? Like, well, this kid fucking sucks, but he's here. Like, no, they're gonna build that up, and it could be, like you said, a smokescreen to throw people off of the other trail, the Ty Simpson trail. But again, I don't like Ty Simpson either. I would love if Aaron don't play. I would love for them to at least throw Will out there. Let's just see.
Absolutely. And we've been saying that. Like,
yeah,
I don't, I mean, here's my thing with the free agency that we signed, or free agents that we signed, and we'll get back to that here in a second. These, if you're at 21 and you have another wide receiver there, if you don't sign one before the draft, or there's a couple that are out there that can help us out. I know Darnell Mooney signed with somebody 1-year contract. I know Jawan Jennings is still out there. You can sign him for a 1-year contract. If you're at 21, are you taking offensive lineman, or are you taking wide receiver, or are you taking Ty Simpson, or are you taking best available player?
It's who's there. Like if if one of the receivers is there or within reach of a trade up, because we still have 12 picks, go get him. I'll give up I don't think I'd give up next year's first, but yeah, it would depend who it is because the quarterback situation kind of throws that all fucked up. It depends who's there, who's within striking range. Receivers definitely still in play because, you're going to want a young guy to groom. It could be a defensive lineman. The kid from Florida could be a very interesting guy if he's around. Banks, I think is his name. You could go. I don't really think there's a need for corner.
Corey,
To me,
Corey says Debo would be a great slot guy with Pittman and DK on the outside. Would you take Debo Samuel on a 1-year deal? Prove it.
it would have to be. It would have to be on the low.
George is joining us. George, you joining us or are you just hopping on?
I was just trying to sneak in and do the work for you, buddy.
Oh, okay. But good morning to you, George. How you doing?
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning.
Morning.
I couldn't agree with you more, Dees. By the way, I heard you talking about the Will Howard thing, and I totally do agree with you on that. I mean, as an Ohio State guy myself, you are right. It is all systematically here. When you've got the proper weapons around somebody, yes, everything is in a system. The Shanahan coaches, father and son, it's all in the systems, and there's particular systems and those guys who can excel in their skill sets with them.
And I don't want to completely shit on Will because he showed signs at Kansas State, where he didn't have that system and surrounded by fire. There's sparks there. I think Will, if coached correctly and the right people around him, I do think Will could be a decent NFL quarterback, and his ceiling is up there. Like if he's got the right coaching and the right team around him, Will might be a guy. But for all of these people that are just like, oh, Will's got to be the starter, he's the guy, we don't know that. Let's have him throw a couple passes in a preseason game before we're ready to anoint him the next Tom fucking Brady.
I agree. And Hunter Bailey asked real quick, does Roman Wilson get a shot this year? He better get a shot. He better. This is his going into his third year. He better get a shot.
Yeah, he's been working out with I don't know the guy's real name, but everybody calls him the route god, and he's worked with some of the top receivers in the NFL in the last 20 years. So, I mean, if the route god can't figure out Roman Wilson and get him right, I don't know who is. But yeah, I think he's definitely going to get a shot, even if it's at the number 4. Because we're getting a receiver in this draft, whether it's first round, second, or third, we are getting a receiver and we're going to get him early.
And I agree everything what you say with Will Howard, though, Dees, and I'm not going to say that I don't, but again, I just want to see the kid get a shot. If it's not here, then somewhere else. But I mean, I just want to see the kid get a shot. It doesn't hurt to start him in a preseason game with the offense, with the first string offense, and let's see what you got. I know that they praise him. John Gruden's praised him. The coaching staff from last year praised him. This coaching staff is praising him. All I want him to do is get a shot and see what we got. Because, again, and I know people are going to say, well, that's a system quarterback. Look what Brock Purdy did. Brock Purdy, 6th-round draft pick. Same steps that Will Howard's taken. He didn't have good players in college, but he went to a system where they had a good coach that coached up quarterbacks, Kyle Shanahan. So all I want to see is Will to get a shot, and that's it. If he's not good, then we've seen what we had and be done with it. But
if we have Aaron, I think Will's probably going to start all of the preseason games, or at least 2 out of the 3. They might throw Mason a bone, unless we do get Ty Simpson, in which case Mason's probably going to be the odd man out at the end of camp. That just because that's the way it is. Like Will is, at the very least, I think Will could be as good as Mason with a little bit more athletic ability. So I think Mason, being the most expensive of those options, is going to be the guy that is sent packing in camp.
A perfect example is Peyton Manning, by the way, because remember, Peyton Manning started out with Jim Mora and sucked. When Tony Dungy came in, ta-da! Yeah,
well, I mean, Peyton Manning. Oh, fucking frog in my throat. Peyton Manning, like had a feeling he was going to be what he was, but he was just.
I'll even
one of
go
those
Brett
guys-
Favre.
Yeah,
Brett Favre was garbage in Atlanta, went to
True.
Green Bay under
Yeah.
McCarthy. Ta-da.
Yeah.
You know,
I think Peyton had such a bad season because he didn't have as many weapons around him, and he was just slinging it. Like he was just trying to get used to that NFL speed. Like as good as the SEC was, it wasn't quite what the NFL was. And we saw what happened literally the next year. Once he got adjusted, he became who we thought he was going to be, while Ryan Leaf was, snorting Vicodin off a hooker's ass. But
Yeah. So we'll get into more free agents here. That was a little bit of quarterback talk there. These who out of all the free agents that the Steelers signed, and do you like the most, and who out of the ones that they lost did you wish that they would have brought back?
I mean, it's hard not to say, even though it wasn't quote a free agent, although it kind of was, because the trade was literally only 16 spots, and it was kind of a sign and trade deal, and that's Pittman. Just because we have been so fucking starved for wide receiver help that it's like somebody just dabbed a little water as I'm running across the desert. So that's great. But I really like the Jamel Dean signing as well. I think that is going to solve an issue that we've had the last few years, which Tomlin kept trying to plug in these old DBs, thinking that, they were the DB that they were 10 years ago. And we keep finding out that they're not. I think that is going to allow Jalen to be kind of a rover. It's going to allow him to play not only safety, but slot, and then come up to the line of scrimmage. I like that our secondary is very physical now. You just take the top 5 guys in Porter, Dean, Ramsey, Brisker, and then God damn it, Deshaun. That's a very physical, very tough secondary. And then don't forget, we still have Brandon Eccles as well. So our secondary on paper looks like it could be elite. Now, who I don't like the most out of the free agent signings, and I know that there might be some people out there that are going to fucking burn me at the stake. I hate the Rico Dowdle signing.
Really?
Why?
Because you got rid of Gainwell, which is fine. I wasn't willing to pay Kenny Gainwell $14 million to do what he did here. But you go out and you replace him with a guy that, in my opinion, and I know people are like, well, you don't know that, but I'm just telling you what my eyes told me in college. You got him on the roster already, and his name's Caleb Johnson. You can't, people are ready to throw Caleb Johnson out saying he's a bust. You can't tell me that a guy that is a rookie last year who got, I think the most carries that he got in a game was 4, and he only played in half the games because you had, the thunder and lightning of Warren and Kenny Gainwell. I just think that you go out and you spend $7 million or $6.5 million a year on Rico Dowdle, who's not a great receiver. I think he only had 240 yards receiving last year. So he's not really that guy. Sure, you can hit him on a couple dump offs and screen passes, but I just think that money could have been better spent elsewhere. And you see what you got in Caleb. We know what we got in Jalen Warren. He can catch the ball, but he's a tremendous blitz pickup guy. And when he gets ahead of steam, he's a great power running back who can also break one. To me, we just got another, we got another Jalen without the ability to catch.
Well, I mean, my thoughts on that is I agree with you, but I disagree. I think that he was our back-to-back 1,000-yard rusher for a reason. One year in Dallas, 1 year in Carolina. I think he does the same exact things as Kenny Gainwell. Did I want to lose Kenny G?
He can't catch.
Did I want to lose Kenny G? Absolutely not. But from Kenny G's press conference, I don't know if you've watched it, he said that he really didn't want to be in Pittsburgh last year anyway. So that kind of pushes me away from Kenny G and thinks of him a little less, but I understand it. You just went there for the 1 year to play with Tomlin. I get it. And I really think that is going to be a key factor in our offense. And I think that we're going to look back on this day that you say that on March 15th here, 2026, when the season ends. These we're going to come back to that, and I want you to give me your reevaluation on Rico. And
I'm not now. Don't get me wrong. I like Rico as a player. I think he is going to do well for us. I'm just saying that I would have rather not spent 12.5 million on him and give Caleb Johnson what he needs to actually be an NFL football player, and that is the ball.
You said the same thing with we don't know what doghouse Roman Wilson was in. We don't know what doghouse Caleb Johnson was in with Tomlin and the coaching staff. Maybe there's something that they see there that he can't be that back, or maybe they might not re-sign Jalen after this year and go with Dowdle and Johnson for next year. Maybe, you don't know. Maybe one of them guys gets hurt. Unfortunately, and that happens in the NFL. Caleb Johnson,
I agree.
For some reason, he was drafted 3rd round. He quite didn't get it. I don't know if it's the Arthur Smith offense or whatever, but they felt that they didn't have enough faith in him, like you talking about with if the Steelers are sniffing around for a quarterback with Will Howard, they probably think that they didn't have enough faith in Caleb Johnson for him to be the number 2 right now. I mean, but I would like to see Caleb get some snaps. Hopefully he can and get himself on the field, because I would like to see him. He was a beast in Iowa where he played at. I would love to see him get it, but we don't know. We have no idea what he can do. I mean, I think what had happened is I think him being in the doghouse because of that special teams punt and how he worded that, or the special team or the kickoff and how he worded it. I think that really made people think about his thoughts on how he processes the NFL game. I really do.
Yeah,
and that put him in the doghouse for a long time with Tomlin and the crew. Real quick, Corey says Jordan Tyson might still be available at 21, seeing his brother been this year with the Cavs. It's in his DNA. Hunter Bailey.
I wouldn't be mad at Jordan Tyson.
Me neither. Hunter Bailey says Jordan bonehead move on the kickoff early. It didn't help his chances of touching the ball last year. Agreeable. Maybe they put him back there this year as a kickoff returner.
I doubt it. I mean, the guy, that's Tomlin being too cute. He should have never been there to begin with. The guy had only returned, I think, 1 kick since high school. What he was doing on kickoff return, I don't know. Maybe they thought it was a way to see how he reacts. You know, to me, you should have got him more carries, but I get why they didn't. I don't think he was necessarily in the doghouse kind of thing, but I think it was one of those deals where we were so thin at wide receiver that we knew that Kenny was going to have to be on the field a lot. And then as injuries kind of claimed other players, we didn't have a roster spot for him towards the end of the year, and he just kind of got washed away. I'd like to think that we're going to see a lot more of him running the ball this year, because just looking, if you look at the 3 guys, okay, you got Warren, Dowdle, and Caleb. Who's your 3rd down back there?
Jalen Warren.
100%. So I think you're going to get more early down carries out of Caleb Johnson. I think you're going to see a heavy dose of Rico, a little bit of Warren here and there. Warren definitely on 3rd downs. And then you're going to have a few series, hopefully per game, where you really let Caleb rock and see what he can do. You know, but again, a lot of it depends on what they do with the offensive line. I wouldn't mind grabbing a guard at some point, but I feel like Spencer Anderson could be a guy there, and I'm excited to see what the new offensive line coaching staff can do with this young offensive line. The right side from the center over, rock solid. Left side, huge question mark.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Adam says that he's got a feeling that we're going to get Denzel Boston. I'm cool with that. Any of these wide receivers, Tate, Boston, Concepcion, or who am I leaving out? Tyson. Any one of them if they fall to us, take it and run with it. Take it.
No, I wouldn't be mad at it. Boston, I didn't hate, but I didn't really want him in the 1st round as my number 2. But now that we just got Michael Pittman, I'm like, okay, now I'm open to all 4 of those guys. Tate, I mean, take him off the board. Forget it. But, you know, Mekhi Lemon is a stretch, but maybe. Jordan,
let me ask you this,
Tyson for sure.
let me ask you this, Deez. If Tate is available at 16,
He won't.
and I'm
Zero
just
chance.
I'm just
Yes.
saying,
Yeah, I'm gonna throw some shit at the wall and see if anything sticks for sure.
okay, that's what I wanted to ask, because there's some drafts that got him going 13 through 18.
Those people are stupid because I just don't see any world where Carnell Tate falls. My dream scenario, and I call it my dream scenario because then I woke up because it's not going to happen. But Patrick Queen, we know, has been kind of involved in some trade talks. I don't hate it. I don't hate him being here either, but he's on the last year of his contract. So if you have to move him and get something from him for him right now, I get it. But my dream scenario is they find somebody that they can grab a fifth, and then Omar just gets in the kitchen and throws together a fucking out of this world package to move up in the top 10 and grab Sonny fucking Styles. Although the way he had his combine, I think he probably got himself a top 5 slot, but that's just like, when I sit there and dream of things, it's Sonny Styles, man in the middle with Peyton Wilson still there, and Cole Holcomb is the backup. I wouldn't mind bringing back Brandon or Landon Roberts either.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk of him coming back.
I would dump Malik Harrison right now and bring Landon Roberts in as nothing more than like a first down and a short yardage run stopper.
I think they're going to re-sign him. I think they are. I think they're going to bring him in. If he's not signed by the end of the month or by camp, I think they'll bring him in. I really do.
Well, I mean, the good news is he was literally just in Oakland, or I'm sorry, Las Vegas. So like Patrick Graham knows him. So if they don't bring him in, then Patrick Graham knows that maybe it's time that he's not that guy anymore. But if they do bring it in, it's a matter of Graham knowing what to do. And again, back to the Patrick Graham thing. This is the most talent he's ever had in his coaching career. And even with the shit talent that he had everywhere that he's been, like, he managed to turn it into, at the very least, an average defense. So throw the guys on the roster at him that we've got right now. I'm excited to see what he does with these guys.
Yeah,
I really am.
I mean, because a lot of the way that the people are talking about Patrick Graham, he said, I know we talked about, or TJ said that he wanted to move around last year. There's a lot of talk of them moving TJ around this year, and there's a reason why they re-signed Cam Haywood for another 2 years, or they added a year to his contract and then restructured it. So Cam must be on board on what they're going to be doing on defense, because I don't think he really would have came back if he would have heard, oh, we're going to stick with the same the same scheme as we did last year. Cam wants to come back and win. I think that was one of the big reasons why Cam did come back.
Yeah, there's no doubt that is gone. Like Mike Tomlin, he basically took Dick LeBeau's defense, watered it way the fuck down, and took out every aspect of it that was any kind of high risk, and he was carried by talent. And then got burnt because when the chips were down and we were playing the elite competition, i.e. in the playoffs, they knew what we were running. Like, we were able to survive on talent, even though they knew what we were going to run. We had the talent to stay competitive, but then we'd get to the playoffs and we'd get up against guys, like Josh Allen, and that's not always the case because one of them was fucking Blaine Gabbert. But they just knew what was coming. Whereas now we don't know what Patrick Graham's going to do. And I agree. I think Cam loves what he's seeing there. And I'm excited as hell to see what it's going to be as well.
Yeah, you're right, Deez. This defense was way watered down, and this team had to be tired with that and not okay with it. That's why you went out and got him or Patrick Graham, and you put Joe. What is it, Joe Wicks Jr. or whatever? What's his name? Joe
Witt Jr.
Yeah, Joe Witt Jr. Everybody likes him, so I mean, I'm good with this defense. I'm good the way that they constructed for this year. I'm a big advocate on the Brisker signing. I love that signing by the Steelers, and we talked about that, Deez. We got him really cheap, 1 year, 5.5 million.
Yeah,
All
huge
the way,
fan of the money for sure. Like that's, we talk every day, but that was one of the things I'm like Brisker, like, no, that's not what we need, because I thought he was going to cost twice that. Brisker at 5 million with the promise, at least what I think was a promise of just come in this year, 1 year deal, prove it. I think if he plays the way that they think and he thinks he's going to play, then he's probably going to get paid next year when Jalen might come off the books. But yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it.
And then we talk about the re-signing of Sante Samuel. That was huge. They got him real cheap too as well.
$4 million. Yep.
I'm cool with that. And then your boy Dean, they got him. What was he? 3 years, 28 million, something like that. He's making 12 million a year, right?
Yeah, it's in the 36 million, maybe
36 million. There you go. So yeah, he's making 12 million a year. So
3 years, 36.75. But here's the thing: like, you look at that number and you're like, that's a lot. His guaranteed money isn't that. I think he's only like 12 million guaranteed.
Yeah,
like literally, it is. Omar is a fucking wizard the way that he works this cap, because you look at those numbers like, wow, that's a lot of money, but literally it's a 1 year deal. Like, they can cut him after this year, and our cap penalty is next to nothing.
And another defensive signing that we did, Sebastian Joseph Day. He's been around the league. I mean, he's 30 years old. He can play nose tackle. He's a run stopper. He's a big body.
Solid depth piece. He can go anywhere on the defensive line.
Yeah, but it's still a good signing. You got him for 2 years, 11 million. A good signing for them. He's got a lot of energy. I watched some of his press conferences and his play on the field, and when he's mic'd up, he's actually hilarious. He kind of reminds me of Larry Ogunjobi when we first got him, where he can move around and play anything on the line. So I'm cool with that.
Odemeo, or whatever his name is, the guy that was on the roster but got hurt and we didn't get to see a lot of him. He's going to be tough too. Like, nobody really. I think he came from the Ravens. We signed him last year, and he was a
Moon?
Huh? No, Odemeo, I don't.
Oh, okay, yeah. They re-signed him.
Yep. Yeah, re-sign him, and he's also a depth piece. I like him as well. Do I want him starting? No, but to come in and give us 15, 20 snaps a game, absolutely.
I'm good with that. But lost defensively. James Pierre earned himself a contract. He went to Chicago. Kudos to him. So we kind of
Minnesota.
I'm sorry, Minnesota. That's right. He went to Minnesota, so kudos to him for earning that contract. Go get your money, man. Who else did we lose on defense? We lost. Who else did we lose on defense? Somebody else signed somewhere. Oh, former Steeler Devin Bush went to the Bears. That's what it was. That's what.
30 million, 3 years. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck with that. And then offensively, we lost. Well, we released Jonnu Smith. He hasn't been picked up yet. There's a reason why he hasn't been picked up yet. We all know why.
Yeah.
We lost Connor Haywood, who earned himself a big or decent contract out there in Vegas. So kudos to him.
Yeah, it's sad. A lot of people were like, "Oh, thank God he's gone." Connor Hayward made some big plays for us, when he was called upon. And if he was just 4 or 5 inches taller, that kid would have been a stud. He came in. The fullback was basically a dead position in the NFL, so he converted to tight end. Probably because the Steelers like, hey, if you want to play tight end, we'll throw you on the team. Great special teams player. So I am glad that he gets to go out and make a little bit of money. Disappointed to lose him though, because he's just that guy that when you need a play, like he comes out of nowhere and makes a play, whether it's special teams or unexpected touchdown catch. So, but kudos, I agree.
Calvin Austin III, he signed with the Giants on a 1 year deal. What's your thoughts on that? Him leaving, D's? Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I kind of felt like if he didn't go anywhere else and stuck around a few weeks, I think he was one that we would have circled back to. But again, undersized, like add 3-4 inches to that kid and he could be a superstar, but he's kind of limited in what he does. And he was also really limited by the quarterback play around him. He did some good things with Aaron last year when he was healthy, which again, that's the other thing is he is kind of small, so he tends to get hurt. But I think that he'll do decent for the Giants. As one of he's got a stud and Malik Neighbors next to him.
Yeah, he's not going to be the number 2 there. He'll be 3 or 4. He'll probably have the same role that he had with Pittsburgh. Harbaugh will know how to use him. Harbaugh signed a lot of his guys from the Ravens.
And anyway, he's going to be Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yeah.
He's basically going to be that guy.
Fuck the Ravens for what they did with Max Crosby anyway, but we'll get into that a little bit later. The 2 key big losses that I think is the guard Isaac Salamalu, where did he sign at? He went to Arizona, right?
Arizona,
he got a big contract there. And Kenny G,
overpaid.
Kenny G, who went to Tampa and basically said that he didn't want to be in Pittsburgh anyway. So, Kenny, thank you for your time in Pittsburgh. You did. I mean, you were team MVP. I loved watching you play. Good luck to you in Tampa. That's all I got to say about that.
I don't think he meant it as a slight. He was just saying that he was hoping that he was going to go to Tampa last year, but they didn't really have a need for him. So he came here and, he made his money. Like if he would have went to Tampa last year, he may not have seen the playing time that he saw here in Pittsburgh. So he better thank his lucky stars that he was here and that, we found the kind of role for him. He's not a great running back. He's Darren Sproles. Like he's going to flash some things here and there. But he's not going to be like a superstar, like Christian McCaffrey type dual threat runner. He's more along. He's got a niche. He's very good at it, but he's not like an every down superstar that's going to run the ball and then make 80 catches on top of it. Like he can give you a few change of pace carries, but primarily he's going to be a receiver.
Yeah. So the draft is coming up next, and I'm looking forward to see what the Steelers do.
5 weeks.
5 weeks. I'm looking forward to see what the Steelers do in the draft. I don't want a quarterback at all in this draft, but I know that they'll probably draft one depending on when you're going to get the answer from Rodgers. If you get the answer from Rodgers before the draft, you're definitely not drafting one, or they may draft one anyway.
No, it doesn't matter. I'm telling you right now, his decision doesn't have any factor on whether or not they draft a receiver. If he doesn't come in, then it's almost a guarantee. But even if he does come in, it's still on the table in the first because he's only going to be here 1 year if he does come back. So
that's one more year.
Everything is on the table.
That's one more year for Will Howard to sit back and watch, and I'm pretty sure Will will be cool with that, especially if it's Rodgers.
Well, guess what? If they draft Ty Simpson, Will can still sit there and watch because that's what he's going to be doing.
Yeah, well,
I agree. Look, I agree. I'm just telling you that.
Yeah,
I don't think all these people that are, Ohio Staters are going to get their wish. I don't think Will is going to get that chance because even if we don't draft Ty Simpson and Aaron plays, we'll at least see Will, but unless he absolutely blows it out of the water in the preseason, next year is the big quarterback class. And I hate to even say it, but the year after that, as of right now, is speculated to be potentially even better than next year. Like it's crazy. Like, but the roster that they put together, like they can win now if they have a quarterback. And I think Aaron can win if he's healthy and the offensive line takes another step. Like I thought the offensive line was much improved last year. I really hope Broderick Jones can come back from this injury because, again, I think that Brod with the right kind of coach, positional coach, I think he can be a good left tackle, and I would love to see it work out. I want us to have to pay that man at the end of this year because I think Brod, he is a team guy. We saw from day one, everybody likes Brod. It's just I think he hasn't had a coach really teach him technique that he needs.
And I'm glad that you brought that up, Deez. I really am, because I think this coaching staff with this new offensive line coach, James Campen, I think that he gets the most out of his players, and that's why they haven't given up on him yet. That is exactly why. And I think that You'll see what he's really made of this year with great coaching, because who was our our O-line coach last year? It was can't remember. Pat Meyer.
That's it. Yeah, I'm so fucking traumatized by it. I've already tried to block it from my memory.
So Josh Patterson, thank you for watching the show. First time watcher, Josh Patterson 876 says, top of the morning, gentlemen. I give us a plus, 0 complaints at point. Hunter Bailey says that this year was supposed to be a good quarterback draft class as well, and you see how that changed.
Hell, half of them went back to school for that NIL money.
Josh says 100% fire mark, and then or fire emoji, and then he says 12 picks in the draft to use. Going to be a great show, boys. So I don't think he sticks with all 12.
No chance. Zero. I'm just telling you that right now. There is absolutely 0.0% chance that we walk out of that draft with 12 rookies.
Josh, if you're we would love to have you on the show sometime. So if you're interested in coming on the show, look us up on Steel City Renegades on Facebook. Send us a like over there. We'll get you on the show. Any Steelers fans out there that want to be on the show, feel free to reach out. Steel City Renegades on Facebook. But yeah, I mean, I'm in agreement with you. 12 picks this year. I don't think they use all of them.
That's my number right now. 8. We're gonna walk out with 8 picks. Hopefully less, because that'll mean that we made some fucking dynamic move. But yeah, I think we're gonna go from 12 to 8. Shuffle around, go grab some guys that we wouldn't normally be able to grab. You know, that was the whole point of stacking these picks. So Omar, show me what you got, man. This is what you wanted. Granted, I think when they did this, they thought that QB class was going to be more than it is, but it's not. So show me what you're going to do with all these picks now.
Can I ask you a question, Deez, and I want your honest opinion on this? You think that now Omar feels as the alpha male in the room now that Tomlin is gone, that he can make the moves that he wants to make instead of what Tomlin wanted?
100%. Yeah, this is Omar's show. Obviously, I'm sure McCarthy's got a lot of input, but you know, Omar kind of came in under Mike, and so I think while Omar was the numbers guy, I think ultimately Mike was the guy. Tomlin was the guy that was making the real decisions, and I think that it's going to be a little more balanced with Omar saying, "Hey, this is what I want to do, Mike. What are your thoughts?" As opposed to Tomlin saying, "This is what I want to do, Omar." You know, so I think the roles have kind of reversed a little bit.
What do you think the thoughts would be as if McCarthy in his 5 years takes us to the Super Bowl and Tomlin couldn't get us there? What do you think the fans would say about that? You think they'd say that Tomlin was holding us back?
Well, yeah, most of them. It just depends which side of the fence you're on, because there are still the Tomlin apologists out there that, you know, are like, oh, you guys just wanted the black guy out and blah, blah, blah. And then the guys that wanted Tomlin out are going to be justified in saying that, see, you know, Mike comes in, wins the Super Bowl. But then the Tomlin guys are going to be like, oh, he just won it with Tomlin's team. Well, yeah, that should tell you that how fucking bad Tomlin was with his talent. Like everybody, like they talked about, he won it with Bill's team, and that is true. But Bill, like, he had some rough years. It was, you know, Tomlin wasn't a bad coach. He wasn't. He got some good mileage out of some bad teams, but he also got some bad mileage out of some good teams. Like he was, when it came to X's and O's, Tomlin, I just don't think had it. Too stubborn, set in his ways.
Josh says another stud. We will be a three-headed monster at wide receiver, then having Mount Washington, Muth, and our running backs. Shit, LFG. Let's go.
I'm not opposed to that either, man. I would love if one of those stud wideouts is there. Bring a young guy in, because at the end of the day, you got Pittman and DK, and both of them are what, 28, 29.
And you got Roman.
Yeah, and I'm not ready to completely give up on Roman yet.
I'm not neither, man.
You bring in a rookie, okay? Let's say that we do go out and we get, you know, Jordan Tyson, or we make a move for Mackay or whatever. You know, he's coming in 20, 21 tops, and he gets to sit there and play behind DK and Pittman for the next at least 2 to 3 years. I know DK signed a 5-year deal, but I don't know that he'll see all 5. But at least 2 or 3 years, and then by that time, if you made the right pick at that wide receiver, that's when he's ready to go. Like he's ready to be that number 1 guy, and you start the cycle over. So yeah, I personally, gun to my head, I'm still wide receiver in the first.
Yeah. That or an offensive lineman. If a stud offensive lineman falls to you there, I
If
think
the kid from Penn State,
yeah,
yes.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, if he falls,
then you got to get him.
yeah,
Plug him right in and play. Get your offensive line ready to go. But if let me ask you these couple names out there, tight end wise, would you give a look at? How about Darren Waller? Would you give a look at Darren Waller?
No. Just give me a camp guy. Give me a guy that can come in. If I don't want another even potential of a guy that comes in and steals fucking reps from Darnell Washington. If he's hurt, then you just live with what you live with. I do not like my tight ends are Pat Fryermuth and Darnell Washington and some fucking scrub that I'm going to draft in the 8th round. I know there's not 8 rounds, but you know what I mean? Like, no, I'm not putting money into one of those tight ends. Whoever comes in the door as my number 3 tight end comes in at the vet minimum, whoever that may be.
I know that McCarthy used a lot of fullback when he was over in Dallas. What do you think about maybe getting a fullback back there too as well? A pass catching fullback.
I'm not opposed to that. McCarthy almost never uses 3 tight ends, and he did use a lot of fullbacks, so I'm not opposed to that either. Which, again, that was kind of the shock with Connor. I don't know if maybe he just flat out refused to make a switch to fullback, or if he's not the kind of fullback that Mike wants in his offense. Not opposed to it at all, though. I would love to see a fullback, some power runs. Yeah, bring it on. But I don't want to spend any more than vet minimum on a 3rd tight end because we saw where that got us last year.
Yeah, or you maybe draft a fullback out of college or whatever. I mean, maybe
late, like we don't need.
Yeah, 5th or 6th round, you could draft one. I mean, or like you said, D's get one cheap after the draft if there's one that's still out there. But I would love to see a fullback back incorporated in this offense, man. I don't know. Last time I remember us having a fullback was Rosie Nix. That's the last time I remember us having a fullback.
Because he was. That was literally the last true fullback that we had. We've had some good fullbacks. I don't know how many of them you actually remember, but John Whitman, Tim Lester, Dan Kreider. Like
I remember him. I remember guys.
Yep, we had some. John L. Williams. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, number 22. He played with Seattle. Yep.
Yeah. I remember him. And then after Rosie, we kind of everything switched up.
Josh says Will Howard is just as good as grooming prospect. Yes, sir. Keep grooming him. Hunter Bailey says Dan Kreider.
Yeah.
Go give me another Dan Kreider or a John L. Williams in the draft or free agency. Go give me one of them, blocking one that can give you 1 or 2 yards if you need it and get you a touchdown. You don't need him to do much. 10 to 15, 10 to 20 catches out of the backfield, put some blocks down, get yourself a touchdown.
Yeah. No, I mean, one of Mike McCarthy's most successful fullbacks was a former Steeler, John Kuntz.
Yeah. He had him that is right. He had him in Green Bay. I forgot about Kuntz. Josh says that you guys rock. All points agreed on so far. Josh,
thanks, brother.
Appreciate you tuning in. We'll be live each and every Sunday from here on out from 10 a.m. until 11. May go 2 hours a little bit if breaking news happens or if we ain't got time to get into anything. But we'll get ready to break down our draft here on who we want coming up maybe 2 weeks before the draft or the week before the draft. We'll break that down. But I mean, I'm loving it so far. A+ with the Steelers free agency signing. Another one here, a new listener, Ronald Bright 3147. If the Steelers are going to take a wide receiver in round 1 or 2, why not just trade the first round to get Marvin Harrison Jr.? He won't. He's not a 3rd wide receiver.
Not only that, but he hasn't shown me that he's worth a 1st round pick. Like, I think the pedigree's there, but he ain't his daddy. Like I just thought, I'm not giving a first up for him right now. There's just no way.
But D's, if you can get him at a 3rd round pick, do you think that he would come in and be okay with being the 3rd wide receiver in this offense? Do you think he'd be okay with that?
Well, I mean, if he's traded, he doesn't have much choice, but probably not. I don't know enough about the kid as far as him in the pros. I don't know what his attitude's been like in Arizona. I know that's got to be tough just being in Arizona and the quarterback shit show that they've gone through. So maybe he will be a stud, depending on who Arizona ends up with at quarterback. But right now, there's no chance in hell I would give up a first for Harrison Jr. I would much rather, take my chances on either Lemon or Jordan Tyson or, one of those guys that's going to be there.
Yeah, D's, I can't agree with you more, man. I'm excited about Lemon, Tyson, Boston, or Tate. Give me one of them 4, and I'm cool as our number 3 wide receiver. Then you got Roman Wilson, who can work in there too, and our special teams ace, who they'll see the field on some plays because Rodgers likes him. If Rodgers comes back, is Benny Sco. I'm cool with him as being our 5th wide receiver. No more Adam Thielen. No more Marquez Valdez.
Yeah, Scarana ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, Scarana's not going anywhere. But I'm okay with if they can bring Marquez back on a veteran minimum deal and he's a camp body and he's on a practice squad in case somebody gets hurt or whatever, I'm okay with them re-signing him to the practice squad because he does work well with Aaron Rodgers. I'm just saying this, D's, just as a camp body. If you want to bring in MVS, I'm okay with that. I liked the way he played when he was with Pittsburgh. He didn't complain. He was on a practice squad for 4 or 5 weeks and worked his way into the offense. He played pretty decent for us when we were out there, called a touchdown against, I think it was Miami. So, I mean, I'm okay with having him there on the roster. Well, not on the roster, but on the practice squad as a camp body.
Yeah. Real quick before we run out of time. Fuck Baltimore.
Yeah.
That is the most scumbag move I think I've seen in the NFL in a long, long time. Maybe since Art Modell packed up and fucking took that team to Baltimore. I don't give a shit what they say. That's not he failed the physical. That was simple. Wait, we can get Trey Hendrickson for the same amount of money and keep our 1st round picks?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Trade canceled. Buyer's remorse 100%. And I just hope all the bad karma in the world bites them in the ass. And it kind of already did because they lost, 6 starters to free agency?
Yep. And they lost 3 of them to
the Giants.
The Giants, yes.
Yeah, you can have Trey Hendrickson. Max Crosby's a better overall player. Trey Hendrickson's a great guy.
Let's ride!
There, the video works.
Yes, George loaded it. I don't know what happened there. I just moved over to see what time it was, and that just popped in.
It scared the shit out of me.
Sorry, guys.
But yeah, it's just a scumbag move. And I hope they get all the bad karma that's coming their way.
Yeah, me too, man. That's a very bad move by them in their organization. And then they came out and said, "Oh, well, we were going to sign him anyway. We were going to get him anyway, no matter."
Yeah.
You weren't going to get him anyway. Who's going to make any deals moving forward with Baltimore? I personally think they should be punished, and either Henderson misses the first 6 games of the season as a suspension for that, or you take away both.
Yeah, but you can't punish Hendricks. Like, he didn't do anything.
Oh, okay. Well, then take their 2 first round draft picks that they were going to trade to Vegas, take them away and punish them.
At least one, but there's no quote unquote rule against it, which sucks, but it is going to make other GMs and owners out there real hesitant to do any kind of business with them for sure. It's bad business, and like they earned all the bad juju that they're gonna get.
Yeah, absolutely. So Deez, appreciate you for coming on, man. It is 11 o'clock. We will be live with you next week here, Steel City Renegades. George jumped on and put the video in. So George, thank you for doing that. I don't know what happened when I switched over there. I seen a comment. It said a private chat. I jumped over and that video started playing. So sorry to you guys who've seen that. Sorry for scaring Deez. But I mean, Deez, we've had a good bunch of about 30 to 40 live viewers on this show, so hopefully it's getting out there. Make sure you guys like Redline Network on YouTube. Go follow us on Facebook. Go follow Steel City Renegades. We'll be posting a lot more videos here coming up, and
we will be at the draft live with
yes,
updates and hell, maybe more than one show during that weekend.
Absolutely. So for D's, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you guys here next week. Hopefully Chipper's back with us. We'll see you guys next week here. Steel City Renegades. We're out. Until then.
Renegades! Let's ride!